Great news. Want to share this with everybody that so many of us right now are thinking that 2020 is over. And I'm very happy to say that even just this week alone, we've helped our brokers secure 5 new cases. That's either brand new to them or cross-selling their current book. And they just came to us within the last 5 days, which is even more amazing. So there's still a lot of opportunity out there. But with that being said, today we're going to go over 3 voluntary benefit myths you must bust in order to get past your 2020 sales goals. And today we are going to cover why are you here, some of your current challenges you're facing. We're going to do a little myth busting, which is a lot of fun. And at the end, we're going to give you a little bit of a challenge so you can take some action.
And just to reiterate who we are, in case you have not had the opportunity to meet us yet, my name is Heather Sims, and of course, this is Jack Holder with me. We are both partners in the business with EBIS. We do have a third partner, Jackie, which some of you have met. But just to share a little bit about how we got to where we are. As you see, we do have quite a few years of experience in the voluntary benefits space. We both come from a large carrier you might recognize that has a duck named Aflac, which really gave us the base of all of our knowledge today and was a great place to start in the industry. The industry has evolved. We did notice with just being with Aflac, we were struggling a little bit with some technology that wasn't integrating. We were seeing more competition in the market, lots of agents going direct. And so we decided to create EBIS and expand so we could be of more value to our broker partners by having multiple carriers to bring to the table, multiple solutions, and to really help create a holistic experience and make these benefits simple, because they can be. So that's a little more about us, and I will let Jack take it away and tell you guys why you might have showed up today.
Yes. And if you have questions, feel free to put those in the question and answer. We'll leave room at the end to go over those, or you can always reach out to us as well. With that, why did you show up today? Well, maybe you aren't currently offering voluntary benefits. Maybe you're within reach of your 2020 sales goals and you just need a little extra push to get there. And you know what? Maybe you just want to protect your current client base and make sure that nobody else goes in there and takes over that client. Or you want to gain new clients, or last but not least, this is the most fun for us. Maybe you're just supporting us for our first webinar, and we thank you for that. Especially since it's a little awkward since we can't hear them talk.
I love the webinar.
But we will have fun, I promise, because that's our personalities. So here's some of the current challenges we're facing. 2020, it's almost over. We have days left of the year. COVID is definitely impacting sales, and some of us, it's impacting in a negative way. Employers, they don't want to really do anything. They just want to leave things, quote unquote, status quo. And many clients are still on paper. So how are we going to do this with COVID today? And last but not least is some clients, they're still trying to make benefit decisions, and we would love them to make them 60 and 90 days in advance, but some are making them a day or two before enrollment starts. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that. With that, imagine this. Imagine voluntary benefits are part of your strategy. They're not just an afterthought. Imagine if voluntary was simple to add and manage, and imagine if voluntary helped protect your current clients and even win new VORs. And imagine if voluntary helped you reach your revenue goals. Yes, I said that they could help you reach your revenue goals. But you're probably already thinking, you know what? You already have enough on your plate. How can you juggle anything else? And maybe you just don't want to rock the boat. You don't want to shake up a good thing. But in order to win, we're gonna have to get past some of these myths to help you from achieving your goals. So Heather's gonna talk about some of those myths that we were discussing.
I mean, again, we've been in this space for over a decade, so you can imagine the things we get from both our broker partners and clients and reasons for maybe not moving forward, I think one of the first ones is, hey man, I don't think the clients want to pay for more benefits. I don't think they want to offer more benefits. You know, we already have enough going on. They have a good benefit package. Like, I just don't think they want to offer anymore. Right. And on top of that, then you get, and you know, I don't know if the employees really want more benefits. I mean, they're already griping about 401k, and, you know, we don't see people participate in those. And, you know, money's really tight for people right now. So I just don't know if they're going to want to pay for more stuff. Right. And again, this might be what you're hearing from an employer, or quite honestly, it might be what you're saying in your head. Right. Sometimes we have our own preconceived notions about what experiences we've had. Maybe you've offered these and that was a response from the employer. So again, these are things that come up regularly. And the third is really just, it's too complicated. It's too much work. We're focused on the core benefits. You know, we have enough going on already. We don't want to complicate things and add another layer. And, you know, we don't just want one more invoice to pay. So again, 3 myths that we often see come up, which we are going to bust. They are not true, just like many myths you might have in your own head about other things in life. Just because they're in our head doesn't mean they're true, right? So with that, I do want to speak a little to a process that we use as we're cultivating our broker partnerships. You know, we're often asked, like, what's the next steps? What are the actual processes that you go through? So we wanted to share that briefly here. You can imagine, first and foremost, we need to be able to identify. So that's identifying a potential client, or maybe a client that you are trying to get a BOR on, and really just discussing the situation, right? What's their current challenges? What are they looking to accomplish? What type of benefits are they looking to offer? And then with that, we move into the design phase and we go to market. So we leverage, again, over a decade of experience that we have, partnerships we have with different carriers to get best in class underwriting and things of that nature, and really find the best carrier for the situation, again, to hit those objectives and they're looking to do. From there, we're going to collaborate both with our broker partner and the client to confirm those challenges that we had identified and propose a multi-year product strategy. So instead of just throwing everything to offer in at one time, we do look at the most pertinent plans and create generally a multi-year strategy, which allow for a rollout, and really just finalize what our engagement method and timeline is going to be. And then, of course, implement. So open enrollment happens. We partner with the broker and the client to facilitate that open enrollment, make sure it's going smoothly, take care of the things that we've identified that we would, and plan for ongoing service and onboarding of new hires. So this is a little bit about our process. Instead of just throwing even more information out at you, we thought the best way to share and bust some of these myths is to actually go into some real life case studies and examples we've had over the years to illustrate some of these things. So I will let
are real life cases,
like real life cases, not just hypothetical, like real San Diego and other cases.
Okay. One thing I wanted to point out on our process is you can use the process too. It really is simple if you just break it down, and we'll get into that now. So I'm going to talk predominantly about larger cases. We use this even with our small cases, less than 50 employees, and it's worked very well. But here's one case that I love to showcase. This is one of my favorite clients to work with. They are 300 employees, and their average age is 45, predominantly female. Almost all are Spanish speaking. This client really takes care of their employees, does as much as they can for them, and it's a manufacturing company. Now, some of the challenges that we ran into, they're lower income. They had plans in the past that were in there that were just a little complicated, almost too much. So we had to replace the current carrier. And probably most important is our broker partner wanted to retain that control of their client. So we created a strategy with them to create multiple options that they could build a strong plan offering. After working with the employer and the broker, we came up with, I think, a pretty strong offering, and that was that we are able to bring up the idea of the employer funding some of these plans. And at first the employer said, no way, it's not going to happen. And then they thought about it for a minute and they said, you know what? If they have a valid reason why they're not getting their major medical, or they don't spend all their money on major medical, why couldn't they use it for the enhanced benefits or voluntary benefits? And with that in mind, we were able to roll out an option for the employees to pick and choose the benefits that make most sense for them. So the employer said, you have so many dollars to spend, and they let them spend it however they needed, as long as they purchased their medical, dental, and vision first. Worked fantastic. We have $300,000 on the books in premiums and voluntary alone. And the employees are paying a lot of that, and employers paying some of that. So with the myth that employers aren't going to pay for it, in my opinion, that's very much busted, because this is one case. And I can share many more on an individual basis. But, oh yeah, 80% participation on the voluntary lines. It helped them potentially lower employee turnover, and it gave them a rich benefit package. Here's another one that many of you have probably seen around. There's a lot of schools in California. This was a school, the average age was 35 employees. They did have over 100 employees. They're predominantly female, and they had a small benefit package. A new broker comes to the table and says, you know what, I think we can do things better. And so we worked with that broker. They were able to secure a new BOR. And after identifying some of the challenges, we put a pretty solid plan in place together. Here's what some of the challenges were. It was a brand new BOR. They didn't want to ask for too many things or action items. They wanted to put them on a platform for the first time ever. They were lower wage, and the employees were spread out everywhere. And the employer didn't really think employees would be interested in quote unquote voluntary benefits. But here's what happened. After working with the broker, we created a simple plan design, just 2 options. They either want it or they don't. And the broker informed the employer that this is what we're going to do because this is what your employees want. And what happened was 54% of the employees enrolled in 1 or more plans for voluntary alone. That was pretty impressive. The client was very shocked, but here's something else that happened that really helped the broker. Imagine this, they doubled their dental and vision premiums. They also increased medical, not quite as drastically, but they doubled their dental and vision premiums. Why is that? Because we wrapped everything with an education plan, and we are able to get 100% of the employees to elect yes or no on all of the benefits. But so in the end, did they really care about voluntary? Well, of course they did, because it helped them, but increasing their other lines helped them with that agency. So, oh yeah, employees don't want to pay for it. 100% employee funded. Again, 54%. Myth busted. Here's a fun one. And this seems to be something that we are seeing more and more of, and that's the cannabis industry. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of challenges with the cannabis industry. Number one is we got to find a carrier that will even work with them. Not only that, the employees were spread out. They were on paper. The broker was moving them from from small group to large group, and we had to meet participation. The average age is 30. So you can see there's going to be a lot of challenges there with introducing a lot of changes. But by working with the broker, we just created extremely simple plan designs, an accident plan and a critical illness to be exact. Employees either wanted it or they didn't. They clicked the button. We put it on a platform with an engagement strategy for them. And in the end, the employer and the broker thanked us. Why? Because we help them complete enrollment and get 100% of the employees. With the help of the HR and the broker, 100% of the employees ended up electing or declining coverage. They made participation They introduced 2 new plans. They doubled dental, vision, and medical. And now, just to give you an idea what they're making in commissions alone, now they have $25,000 of new revenue coming to their agency. It's not a huge case, but you know what? That sure helped them. And we only had a week and a half from start to finish to put it all together. By making it simple, it was easy to implement. So this one, of course, was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and they really do care about their employees as well. Okay, if there's anything you want to add, feel free, Miss Heather.
Sure.
Okay, so the last one, I don't want to get into too many case studies, but I like using this one because this one's a little bit unique. And this was an existing BOR as well. They wanted to change some coverages for this church. It was 150 employees spread out, predominantly female, and we needed to replace a carrier. So by working with the broker and our carrier partners, we went to market and created a very simple plan design, or 2 simple plan designs, I should say, to replace 3 that were in there. We took away all pre-existing conditions for them, and we made it a simple, if the employees want it, they elect yes, and if they don't want it, they mark no. We were able to bring in composite rates, so everybody got the exact same rate. And lo and behold, at the very end, this was really fun. The company asked, well, can we pay for some of it? And to our shock, we said, absolutely. And so they ended up funding part of it, provided it to employees who were able to put it on a platform, and we were able to be as unobtrusive as possible. Instead of being that voluntary in the corner, we are part of the entire solution, or they utilize voluntary as an entire solution. 80 employees enrolled in this company. So over half enrolled, and employer partially funded it, and we made it very simple. So that really, the reason why we use this one is it busts all 3 myths, right? Employers don't want to fund it, employees don't want it, and it's too complicated. And again, you can do all this on your own by using the process of identifying those problems, designing the right plans, collaborating with everybody involved, and just putting a timeline in place. As you can see. Oh, and we got all this done in 1 week. All right. I feel like I'm flying now. So that was the goal, to be done by 10:20. I think I'll be there pretty shortly. But I know I didn't get too much into detail. We only have 30 minutes to go through everything, and that's including questions. But we just wanted to make it simple for you. Now, at the end of the day, you have a couple of choices. You have the choice to give up on 2020. You know what? 2020 is almost over. And you can say, nobody's making benefit decisions. Nobody's going to change. Nobody even wants to hear about any of this. But we know, based on what we're seeing in the market today, that's not true. Some clients are that way, but not everybody. And so it's it's really up to you to take action. And the simplest way, in my opinion, right now, is you could look at new clients, but your existing book, drawing a fence around them, making sure that they have access to everything, maybe not everything that's available, but they know that you can get it, and they know that you have a strategy around it. Because if you do this, they will continue to be your client for many years to come. So really the next steps is you set time aside with your person or your team that you need to connect with and review your current book. If you don't have that team, you can always, of course, reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help. Or if you even just want to bounce ideas, you can do that as well. Here's our contact information, and you can call Heather or myself. I think you all know how to reach us by this point as well. And with that, I will open it up for any questions that anybody has as we try to learn our brand new webinar software.
I love seeing all these names.
Oh, I know, huh?
You guys are great. Thanks for joining us. Again, our first webinar, so we we thank you, and we wanted to make it succinct and impactful. Again, we know how busy everyone's days are, so thank you for being here. I know we have a mix on the call of people we've done some business with. Definitely have a large mix here, so even some GA partners, and we love having you guys here. So I know it's kind of a weird format to ask questions, but if anyone has any or any other input.
Yeah, and thank you all for your kind words that you're saying to us. We really appreciate that. I will leave you with one thing before I forget. Oh, yeah, we can go on camera.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me figure this out. There we go. Woo,
Okay.
we exist.
I can see your face.
So one of the other things to really pay attention to is don't write it off if you're working small group. We're in San Diego. We have a lot of small group. I just got off the phone with a construction company today that is really in need of being able to help provide more. And they decided, and they're 15 employees and growing, and we're rolling out a simple plan for them that they are probably going to fund. It's going to help them attract some employees. And not only that, it's going to help them mitigate some of those workers' comp challenges as a growing company. So don't forget about the small clients too. Everybody needs help. And you know what? As being an awesome broker, you have access to a lot of ways to help them. So thank you all. Have a fantastic day. We appreciate it. And let us know if there's anything we can do to help. Oh, yeah.
I'm saying good job.
Thanks
Thanks for the kudos, guys. You're awesome. Share the love, spread the word.
Yes.
Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. Have a good one.
Woo-woo.